All right, again, everybody. My name is James. I'm a video production specialist here at Videoguys. And if you have any questions about anything that we talk about today, please make sure to comment down below on either Facebook or YouTube. You can also send us an email at sales@videoguys.com or give us a call at 800-323-2325. And as you can see on my big slide here, today we are excited to talk about the Atomos Sun Dragon. Well, what is the Atomos Sun Dragon? The Atomos Sun Dragon is the world's first sun spectrum HDR waterproof DMX controlled 5-color LED mount anywhere lightweight flexible rope light. I know that's a mouthful, but at its core, the SunDragon is literally and physically the most flexible light on the market, and we are going to start highly recommending that you put this in your light kit. Basically, it is a rope light that you can coil up. It's super accurate to match a whole bunch of different color profiles. It's also RGB, so you can change all of the colors. And I kind of want to just show you just how incredible that this device is. And so normally we have 3 or 4 lights on our truss, but today we're actually using just the Atomos Sun Dragon as our light. And I'm going to step off camera here for a second, and we're going to switch to this camera. And I'll show you what I mean by this camera is one of the most flexible cameras, lights on the market, because it is literally a rope LED light that you can bend and flex into any shape that you want. And as you can see right now, it's just hanging on our truss, and then we have it lit and going all the way around our truss, and that's how we're able to get some nice even lighting. And we're going to do a little bit more of a demo in a minute here. I wanted to point out that this is available in a transparent version and also a diffused version. Now, of course, the diffused version is going to be, it's not a color diffusion, it is just a straight diffusion. And if you don't know what diffusion is, basically, at the end of the day, it will make your light a lot more soft, and it can make subjects look a little bit softer. It can make them look not as harsh, and it can help with shadows. Now, I do want to clarify that we are using the transparent version, but again, because the light is flexible and it's not a single source of light, we have it draped around our truss. It's really not a hard light at all, and it's not casting any shadows on to our green screen here, because the light source is just one giant light source completely around me. So there is no one point that is getting more or less shadow than another point. Now, one of the cool things about the Atomos Sun Dragon is just how many different ways you can control the Sun Dragon. And again, we will get into this in a moment, but as you can see, there is a controller here that comes with the Sun Dragon, so you can change all of your settings of the Sun Dragon from the controller, but you can also use an app that is available on iOS, and with that app, you can control the Sun Dragon via Bluetooth, which means you don't have to be right next to the device. And as you can see, we have that hooked up here on this iPad. But you can also use Ethernet or DMX to control it if you wanted to do some IP-based control, or you have a lighting board that is DMX compatible. The SunDragon can be controlled from that as well. So it's extremely easy and really honestly self-explanatory of how to use this, and there are different ways that you can control the SunDragon. Now, the SunDragon is about equivalent to a 2K light. So if you're in a lighting scenario, if you're in a lighting background, you would know that that's a pretty bright light. It does not get hot. It's very small and compact for that 2000 lumens. As I said at the top of the show, excuse me, so as I said at the top of the show, this is a very, very accurate light. I think it has a CRI of 97, a color render index, which means it is extremely accurate. And in doing so, it has the ability to color match perfectly to ARRI lighting color science. Canon, Nikon, Panasonic, Red, Sony, and Zcam. These are all like pre-built color spaces into the SunDragon. And because it is so flexible, literally, it's also flexible in terms of what you can do with it, as it's not just a 3200 Kelvin to 5600 Kelvin light. It has 5 different colors that you can use. It's not just RGB either. It's red, green, blue, amber, and white. So you can make basically any color on the color spectrum, and we'll get into that in a little bit here. I did just want to show you that you can see some demos of how people are using the Atomos Sun Dragon in the physical flexible space. You can see all of the different colors on the bottom left there, where it is all coiled up in a nice ball. But then you can also put it on the ground. And you know, at NAB they had this the Sun Dragon wrapped around a motorcycle. In this example, they are wrapping it around a car, and it's cool that it looks cool on camera, but then it's also lighting that car at the same time. You can see in the right picture there, it's wrapped around a DJ's mixer. So again, it's not just lighting for him to see. It's not just cool to look on camera, but then also the people that are in that party or concert are also seeing that green color. And with the smoke there, it just, you know, takes the visual experience to, you know, 11 instead of 10. So it's really customizable in what you can do with that color space, as well as bending it into any shape that you want. And again, we're talking about how flexible is it? Well, you can wrap the whole thing up, and you can have the whole thing in a 1-foot diameter without doing any damage to the unit. It is extremely flexible. If I come back over here to this other camera here for a second, again, I'm just going to show off just how flexible this is. I gotta wait, sorry for that, threw Adam on the spot. But again, you can coil this up into a very nice, tight, neat ball, or put it into any shape that you want. You know, make a little S here because that's easy. But just shows you how flexible this light is when it comes to being able to position it any way that you want. Now, it's also extremely lightweight. All in, it weighs just under 2.5 pounds, 2.2 pounds. And to put that into perspective, we have this draped across our entire truss, and all we have is 4 Velcro strips holding this up with. It is extremely light and maneuverable. It's very quick to deploy as well. When we go into our demo here in a second, you'll see that there's only 2 things that are plugged into the controller. You have power plugged into the controller, and you have the light rope itself plugged into the controller. And once you connect those 2 items, you are good to go. That's all you need to do. You can control the light that simply and start shooting. It's also extremely rugged. It's IP68 rated, which means it is dustproof and it is waterproof up to a depth of 3 feet. So Atomos knows that you are going to be taking this out into the field. Just like their monitors are built to be rugged and withstand the elements, this light is designed to be rugged and withstand the elements. And since we're talking about their monitors, you know, it's a natural evolution for Atomos to go from monitors that need to be extremely accurate to Aries cameras, to Canon's cameras, to Red's cameras, because you're taking that HDMI or SDI feed directly from the camera and plugging it into their monitor. They have that knowledge of being that color accurate with their LED monitors, so it only made perfect sense to spread into the lighting world and take that LED knowledge and, you know, push it even further. Now, there is a little video that I want to play with them showing it off, and then we'll get right into a demo. So I'll see you in about a minute. All right, so that was a very cool short video from Atomos. We're going to get into a little bit of a demo here as well, but I do want to let everybody know that Atomos has like a 10 or 15 minute really in-depth video going throughout all of the controls on this, so I highly recommend that you watch that. The other thing that I want to say really quick is because we are using the light right now, and I'm going to show you in real time how the light is affecting, how the light is controlled from this controller. There may be some flashing lights, so if you are sensitive to that stuff, maybe skip ahead a couple minutes. Just wanted to throw that out there. So now we're going to put this camera up in this box, and this is what the controller looks like. As I mentioned before, you have your power connected in the top here, and then this is where the light connects. On the bottom of the controller is where you can have your DMX in for control and DMX out for control, and then you also have an Ethernet port here for being able to do some IP control as well. So as you can see, there's only like 6 buttons on this thing. It is extremely easy to play with the settings on the SunDragon. So where's the perfect place to start? Perfect place to start is most lights on the market have, either daylight or tungsten color settings, and some of them allow you to, have any range in that 3200 Kelvin all the way up to 5600 Kelvin. Well, because again, Atomos is, expanding the boundaries and really pushing the limits of what you can do with lighting. If we go into this setting, you can see that I'm able to control my Kelvin, and right now I have it set to 5600 Kelvin, but if I wanted to, I can switch it all the way down to 3200 Kelvin if we were using tungsten lights, but we're not, we're using daylight. And like I said, a lot of other lights on the market will allow you to go somewhere around 3000 Kelvin all the way up to about 6000 Kelvin. But Atomos is taking it a step further. You can actually go down all the way to 2000 Kelvin all the way up to 20,000 Kelvin. So you have an extreme amount of range. Now I'm going to put this back at 5600 Kelvin here. And the next item that you can change is the green or magenta shift of the light. Now in our studio, we are shooting on a green screen, so we actually shifted the light over a little bit, just a couple clicks, to be able to throw some more green into it. Now, I don't look green, but that little extra bit of green is really affecting our green screen because it's making the green on our wall much more vibrant. And I have to say, I think our key looks pretty good today. And then of course you have the ability to, just raise or lower the brightness of the light. And this is super fine-tuned adjustments too. Some other lights on the market, you can only go in increments of 10%, but you can go in increments of 0.1%. So, you can have super accurate and super consistent lighting. Say you want 62.5% of power, you can do that. If you want 100%, you can do that. If you want 50%, you can do that. You have total control of how bright the light is. Now, if we go back to the main setting, here I'll show you that, again, we're not just talking about your Kelvin temperatures. You can also go into your hues and saturation. So if you want to have, a little bit more hue this way or that way, or increase the saturation or lower the saturation, you can absolutely do that. The next thing that I want to show off really, really quickly is that you can simulate gels. And so if you don't know what a gel is, it's when you have a light and then you put a plastic gel literally, physically in front of the light to be able to alter the light. So say you have a 5600 Kelvin light, but you need to actually be shooting in 3200. You put a 3200 CTO in front of that light and it's going to make that light a little bit warmer. But now you can actually simulate that. So you don't actually have to go and put a gel on your light. And you can actually have it set so if you wanted to have a CTO on top of a 3200 Kelvin light, you can simulate that. Or if you wanted to have a CTO on top of a 5600 Kelvin light, you can simulate that. And it's going to be extremely accurate to those lighting profiles. And again, you can choose just how bright or not bright it is. If we go back again, One of the really cool things is you can source match your lighting. So this is similar to the effects, but not quite the same. But this is like simulating as if you're holding a glow stick. So, let's say that we're in Jurassic Park, I think is a perfect example, and they have the flares and they want to run around with the flares. Well, you can simulate a flare. So, of course the flare isn't going to actually be bright enough to light up your set, but you can use one of these settings to simulate as if there was a flare or a candle or a fire or anything like that. There are simulated lighting to match your practical effects that are happening on set. Now I'm going to go back into this one more time just to get my color back to 5600 Kelvin. But there are also other effects that you can do. And again, flashing light warning just for people that are watching. This is a candle, and as you can tell, it's flickering, but it's not a consistent flicker. It's a random flicker, and you can choose how often it's going to flicker. You can choose how intense the flicker is going to be. You can choose overall how bright the light is going to be at both peak brightness and minimal brightness. It's extremely customizable. Just another example is this one. This one I think is extremely impressive because it's simulating a cloud passing by. And because clouds move very slowly, the naked eye might not notice that the light is changing, but it is. It's simulating when the cloud comes in and the color temperature only slightly changes and it only gets slightly darker, but it simulates that a cloud passed in front of your camera over your subject and then went away, and then it goes back up to full brightness. And again, you can choose how long the cloud is darker as it passes by. I can't emphasize enough just how customizable this is. And I'm gonna again light flashing warning. You can have fireworks going off. So this is going to have a sudden burst of light, but then slowly fade away. And again, you can change what colors are having this happening, how long the fade in and the fade out is, and all of that stuff. Extremely, extremely customizable. This is another one that I think is kind of cool. This is simulating a fluorescent light that is flickering. It gives me the vibe of like The Walking Dead or something like that when they're going through all these abandoned buildings. And now you have this light that just enhances the practical lights that are on set. And you can match this to your flash and tubes or whatever practical lights you are using. Now I'm going to turn this off because, again, I don't want to have flashing lights on here too long. But that just shows you how extremely customizable and extremely easy it is to do that customization. And you can do all of that control from the controller, but if you were watching, the app was changing in real time as the settings I was changing on the controller. You can do all of these settings on the app as well in real time. You can have, if you have two people working on lighting, you can have one person play with the controller and one person play with the iPad, and it's no big deal. So at the end of the day, the Atomos Sun Dragon is an extremely versatile light that we think should be in every lighting person's kit. Now, we can't talk about the Atomos Sun Dragon without talking about the rest of the Atomos family line of products, including some promos that are going on, starting off with the Shinobi 2, which is one of their newest monitors. It's not necessarily a recorder, it is a monitor, but because it's only a monitor, it is very thin, it is very light, and it is still going to give you a really good accurate representation of what your camera is seeing. One of the cool features about the Shinobi 2 is the ability to connect it via USB to select cameras and be able to control the camera settings from the Shinobi. That's a really cool feature, and this Shinobi 2 is 10% off until February 28th, so you can get your Shinobi 2 for just $315. Next up is the Ninja Phone. The Ninja Phone allows you to turn your iPhone into a Ninja, which would mean that you can record and monitor everything that your camera is seeing directly on your iPhone, and it will record directly to said iPhone. This promo is going on from now until the end of next month, so that will be March 35th of 2025. You can get $200 off of the Atomos Ninja phone, putting it at just $199. Next up is the Shogun Ultra, which is their current flagship monitor. It is their 7-inch Atomos Connect integrated system. You can record, you can stream, you can use Frame.io. This is their flagship monitor, and it is on sale for $200 off, also until the end of next month, March 31st. So you can get your Shogun Ultra for just $999. Last, but certainly not least, is the Atomos Sumo 19 SE, which is their biggest monitor, which is used in a lot of like video villages or for technical producers to look at. This is also a monitor and a recorder. This is on sale for $1995, also until the end of next month, March 31st, but it also includes the sun hood. So if you're going to be using your cameras and shooting outside and you're worried about the sun being too harsh, now you don't have to worry about it because we are including the Atomos, the Sumo 19 sun hood for free. Now we talked about all of the promos. Let's wrap this up really quick with just the rest of the product family. So you of course have your Ninja and Ninja Ultra, which are their 5-inch monitors and recorders, which are available for $599 and $649 respectively. And then you have the Atomos Connect, which gives you all of those Connect features on either the Ninja or Ninja Ultra. You have the Atomos Zato Connect, which is a monitor. It is not a recorder, but it has the Connect features to be able to connect to things like Frame.io and also Frame.io and being able to live stream directly from the unit so long as you're connected to internet. And then you have the Shogun Classic, which is a revamp of the OG Shogun, which is a 4-channel SDI switcher. And all of these are available at Videoguys. I know that was a mouthful today. I want to say thank you for watching today. If you have any questions about the SunDragon or any of the products in the Atomos family of products, feel free to give us a call at 800-323-2325, and we will see you next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Until then, peace.
Videoguys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.